Great to see everyone here today. Nice to see you. Great way to kick off 2025. Okay, so you have an idea of what is happening. This is our season opening press conference for the 2025 season. We have Chief Soccer Officer André Zanotta, FC Dallas head coach Eric Quill, the Inferno kit to their right and your left, which we just launched today. That will make its debut in our home opener, I believe, here at Toyota Stadium on March 8th against Chicago Fire FC. So just a little bit of housekeeping, and I think we all know how this goes, but we have questions from those of you in the room as well as some of you on Zoom. We have Raul passing the microphone. If you have a question for André or Eric, please just raise your hand. Raul will get the microphone over to you. We all know who you are, but we're streaming this on YouTube. So we simply ask that you identify yourself and address to whom you're asking the question. Same will go for Zoom, which will open it up once we get through the questions in the room. We do have a hard out at 2:35. So this will be a solid 30 minutes following the press conference. You're available to shoot the Inferno kit right over here. And we do have Chick-fil-A in the Red Star Club should any of you need it. Before we open it up to questions, I'm going to ask André and Eric a quick question. And we'll kick it off with you, André, because this offseason saw so much player movement out the door in Dallas, quite frankly. There have been a lot of rumors about player movement and things that are going on with this club. What can you tell us about this roster and any potential moves that are happening with the club?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Obviously, it's natural this time of the year. A lot of rumors, a lot of going on, and speculations about players coming, players leaving. And we're in the market. We're working hard for the last few weeks to get this roster stronger. And one of the rumors, obviously, I've been following, and especially in the last 24 hours. And this is one I can confirm. Lucho Acosta is FC Dallas' new number 10. We have signed a deal with him. He's a Dallas player. We're super excited to have one of the best players ever to play MLS, and Lucho is just an amazing talent that I'm sure he will make a big impact, and our fans deserve to see someone with his magic here now. So and I couldn't be more excited. Thanks, Dan, for all the support he gives us, Clark. And to make that happen, it's a big deal for the club, and I'm sure our fans are gonna enjoy a lot seeing Lucho wearing our number 10 jersey.
Yeah, Lucho Acosta led MLS with assists in 22 and 24 with 19 assists. He was the MLS MVP in 2023. 33 goal contributions last year. Eric, as you think about this roster, I think the new addition has to have you very excited. But a few weeks into the preseason, just walk us through where we are and what this new addition and the overall impact of the new additions mean for you.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. It's an exciting time. This has been a really momentum-based 4 weeks of preseason with Portugal, the group, growing together as a team, getting out of town, all the things that you want in your team, developing chemistry, developing a work ethic, defining our style of play. All of these things are coming together quickly, but we're always evaluating. The evaluation process and needs never stop when you're trying to build a winner. And so this edition of Lucho is, if for anybody that's watched the game in the last 5-7 years and what this guy's done in our league, and what he does to opponents, but what he does for crowds, and this is a in your face who we want to be. This is exciting for the club. It's an honor as a coach to get a chance to work with a player of his profile and stature. The mentality this man possesses is one of a winning nature, and I'm just excited of what he's going to bring to our locker room and what he's going to bring to the fans of FC Dallas. You can't get more excited about a player. And so I know, and the other thing is he's excited. He's excited to be a part of this, which makes it even more impactful. So more additions coming, but in the press conference earlier in the year, we want to be winners. And we don't want to just be saying these things. And this is an acquisition that shows that we want to be winners.
Great. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Andre. We'll have Dan Hunt available after this press conference for one-on-one interviews, but right now we'll open it up to questions. We have Raul right here. If you just raise your hand, we'll get it over to you. It looks like we are going to Abraham over in the front, right over here. To your right, gentlemen.
Hello. One question for André, one for Coach Eric. Abraham Noodles there, the Dallas Morning News. André, could you share a little bit about your conversation with Lucho? What was your strongest argument to convince him to come to Dallas, and what was his reaction?
Thank you. This has been for a while now. We went back and forth with Cincinnati. Obviously, we always respect the club's position about he's a big time player for Cincinnati, and it's never easy. We felt this year, never easy to let go players that have a significant history in your club. So once we were allowed to speak with Lucho, and Eric was with me, so was Sandro, with Leo. That's what Eric just said. He showed from the beginning his excitement to move here, and we were competing with other MLS clubs. We were competing with teams from Argentina, Brazil, and in the end, he wanted to be here. So one thing that for him is key is he's super competitive. We spoke with a lot of people, and he wants to win, and he wanted to see the mentality that we have here, that we're going to go for trophies, that we're going to compete to win everything that we have this year. And he liked to hear those things. He wanted to see that. And I think this was one of the main points about moving to Dallas.
Coach, what was your reaction when you heard the news? What was the first word that came out of your mouth?
In pure Texas fashion, I think it was hell yeah. But no, I've watched Lucho for years. I've coached against him, and I've watched him on TVs just like any other fan. I mean, you can't help but think about the vision of what he's going to do on the field, and the excitement and passion he's going to bring to our fan base, and the product is second to none. And so it energizes everybody. I'm excited to get to work. He's excited to get to work, and I'm hoping he gels fast. And time is of the essence. We come, February 22nd, rolling on quick, and so we got to integrate him and get him understanding the profiles of everybody he's playing with. And so we'll get to it fast. But he gave us a lift for sure.
Going over here to the left to Pedro, I believe.
Pedro Silva, Univisión Dallas. Esta pregunta es para André. André, preguntarte no solamente por Lucho, sino también por Osase, dos futbolistas que son las más recientes compras de este equipo. ¿Cuál es el impacto inmediato que buscan con estos jugadores el FC Dallas, y qué otras incorporaciones se estarían buscando en estos momentos, si es que hay otras? Gracias.
Gracias, Pedro. Bueno, primero con Lucho, como ya dijimos, ¿no? Lucho es una magia que tiene, con la calidad casi una arte que vemos como juega, y para nosotros es un jugador de este nivel, tiene un impacto muy grande en el equipo, y seguro nos va a aportar muchísimo. Osase es un jugador que ya veníamos acompañando hace un rato, y nosotros tenemos un criterio muy, muy riguroso para traer los jugadores que queremos para Dallas. No vamos a traer por traer. Queremos traer jugadores que realmente pueden tener un impacto y van a tener esta mentalidad de ganar que tenemos aquí ahora. Y cada vez más queremos crecer eso en el club. Entonces, con Osase, Él tiene todo el perfil que entendemos para un central en la liga, y muy físico, muy rápido, tiene esta mentalidad de muy agresivo. Entonces es un perfil que necesitamos, con las salidas centrales que tuvimos, traer un jugador que entendemos tiene totales condiciones de ser titular en nuestro equipo. Va a pelear, claro, con los otros jugadores, pero para también ser más una competición en esta posición para Eric. Y sí, seguimos vamos a tener otros fichajes, ya hay otros jugadores que debemos anunciar en pocos días, pero seguimos en el mercado buscando más jugadores y justamente eso, jugadores que van a hacer la diferencia aquí con nosotros.
We're going to go over here right straight ahead and back over to the left.
For Coach Sydney Staples, D210 Sports, want to get your thoughts on how you see a player like Acosta really complementing someone like a Petar Musa and what he's going to bring to the field.
Yeah, you can see by Lucho's stats, I mean, the amount of assists he has in this league. And so, he's the guy that unlocks defenses. And so the weaponry that we have in Petar Musa and Anderson Julio and Bernard Kamunga, these guys have the ability to get in behind defenses. And Lucho, he sees the game before it happens. He's one of those bright players that, sees the game 2 or 3 steps ahead, not just one. And then what he sees, he can provide the efficiency to hurt opponents, either for himself or for others. And that's the key to him. I mean, he's not a one-trick pony. This guy he can hurt you with goals and he can hurt you with assists. And he's like an Argentinian fine wine. He's getting better with age. And that's why it was such an important piece for us. Is we feel like he's getting better and better and better, and that's powerful.
Over here to the left. Right back. Okay.
André, Eric Mora with Telemundo. I have 2 questions, one for each one of you. The first one is for you, Coach. What is going to be the biggest challenge of facing the MLS 2025 with such a young team, a lot of players coming out of the academy with probably not enough experience in the MLS? What's the biggest challenge for the team in order to compete in a high level? That's the first question for you, and I'll make the second question in Spanish in a minute.
Biggest challenge is going to be locking these guys in for 95 plus minutes, and understanding with young players that you don't turn off and every moment matters. And when you score goals, you got to stay aggressive. You can't conserve. And so building a mentality that these guys understand the importance of every minute that they're on the grass is crucial to the results. And you see it happen all the time with guys that turn off for a second at this level, and you get hurt, and the momentum changes. Momentum's powerful in sport. And when you grab momentum, you don't want to give it back. And so understanding the importance of momentum and being winners in everything we do. And that starts in the training field is trying to build that into them. But that for 95 plus minutes, we cannot be inconsistent. To reach our goals, there's got to be a consistency to how we go about our business, and that's going to be the key is locking them in for the duration.
Following question about that, I'm just going to hold on for the question for André. How is the team ready right now from a scale from 1 through 100? How do you think they're ready for the beginning of the season?
It's game to game. Today, there's moments where I think they're at 99, and there's moments where we're at 90, 80. So we take the moments of success and the failures, and we try to gauge kind of where we are. But that's the point of preseason is understanding the failures are going to happen. But what's standing out to me the most is their mentality. We're building their mentality. Their philosophy of play, being aggressive going forward, is coming out more and more every training and every game. We're seeing really a vertical style of play and less going backwards, less bringing needless stress on ourselves. And so it's a work in progress, but one they're gaining steam fast, and I'm proud of. And we'll get another great opponent against Atlanta on Saturday to gauge where we are before we go to Houston. So a big week ahead, but the team is showing great signs of what I want to see.
Thank you, Coach. André, mi pregunta es sobre Acosta, obviamente. ¿Cuál es el impacto inmediato que crees que él pueda traer a este equipo que está lleno de muchísimos jóvenes? ¿Y cuándo podríamos verlo a él aquí ya en Frisco?
Bueno, el impacto es un jugador que conoce la liga muy bien. Es un jugador que fue MVP de MLS. Entonces es un jugador que damos la camisa y ya está listo para jugar. Entonces, y va a ayudar, como Eric mencionaba, dentro del vestuario con su liderazgo. Era capitán, fue el capitán de Cincinnati en las últimas temporadas. Entonces, él nos aporta de muchas distintas maneras y de manera inmediata porque por su experiencia, por su conocimiento de MLS y principalmente la calidad que tiene en la cancha. Y bueno, llega, bueno, mañana va a estar aquí con nosotros seguro. Entonces estamos intentando que llegue esta noche o mañana por la mañana.
Right up here in the middle to the left.
Garrett Melser with FCDallas.com. One for Eric. What are some of the main things you've been focusing on the field over the first month, and what are some things you still need to improve on over the last 10 days of preseason?
Yeah, the biggest thing, like I said, is going forward off of turnovers. We want to be aggressive getting the goal. We could, I'd like to score within two passes, and so that takes. In order to do that, it's not just traveling with one or two players; it's traveling with the entire unit. So getting them to understand as we transition in the game, it's the back half has to be at full velocity along with the front half, because as you know, when you don't convert, ball pops out. If you're stretched, your lines are stretched. You turn yourself into a disorganized, group that will concede on the back end. So we're trying to get them to understand transitions happen as a team. They don't happen with the front four. But the aggressiveness to play forward, even if it means giving the ball back to the opponent, because there's big pockets when opponents turn the ball over. That's when they're most opened up. And so we want to be able to exploit, their shape quickly, and we want the fans out of their seat. We want to score goals. We want to get them, momentum on our side, and then on the flip side is when we don't have the ball is we got to be dogs. We got to be dogs about the ball, and it can't be one or two dogs. It's got to be 11 thinking alike and physically giving their everything of themselves to each play. Not taking plays off, because what I talked about 95 plus is you can't go 65% when it's a 100% moment. I don't care even if you're tired. If you're a winner, you give that. And so that's where we continue to take pictures of our games and we call it out for what it is. And these guys have growth mindsets. Everything all of our failures have been magnified in video sessions, and they're doing great with accepting feedback, and they're executing the next game. So that's all I can ask for as a coach.
Straight ahead.
Ryan Figert with FC Dallas Radio. Andre, this offseason there's been a lot of makeover on the back line. Shaq Moore coming in, Lawless coming in, Osaze recently. What are the qualities that you've been searching for and kind of making over the defense?
Eric just answered. So we want this aggressiveness in every player, this dog mentality. Just don't give up and believe in every play that we can recover the ball and with quality to start building up, and also we're attack with 11, we defend with 11. So we're being very rigorous in players that we want to bring here. So we just don't want to bring for the sake of bringing players. We want to find the right ones, and with that right mentality, and players that will really make an impact in our team and raise the level. So that's why we have meetings every day. We discuss players every day, and because we want to, and it's not easy because we get all the information about the players, and we want to make sure they fit with the way we play, but also in the way we want the mentality of this team to work in the locker room, on the field. So that's what we look for every player, not only defenders, but every player that we bring to the team.
I think we're done with the in-person portion of the press conference. We'll go to Zoom now. We just ask that you unmute yourself, identify who you are, to whom you're asking the question. If your camera's off, go camera on, please, when you have the chance to ask. And we'll start with Nathan. Go ahead, Nathan.
Hey, this is a question for Coach.
Tell us who you are.
This is Nathan Hill with Afterburn Soccer. Thank you. With the season just around the corner, how close are you to knowing or being settled on that starting 11 for the first game? And what positions specifically are still up for competition for a starting spot?
Every position's up for debate. It's just something on a daily basis we're building into our players so they know that they don't take days off. They're always competing with each other to see who wants to be on that field. So the starting lineup is not clear, and these guys understand that. And we continue to take a look at certain things, certain relationships of different profiles as we go against Atlanta today. So we have all of the data on the table, but I don't ever want a team that thinks that they know the lineup. I want guys that are hungry to prove themselves and get rewarded for the mentality and the consistency they show during the week that gets them in the lineup.
Great. We'll go to Charlie now.
Hi, guys. Thanks for your time today. This is Charles Bone with MLSsoccer.com. I was hoping you could both take this one. Lucho's a strong character. He's fallen out at a couple of his previous clubs with management there. So I just wanted to ask if you perceive that there was any sense of risk involved with making this transfer, and how you kind of manage that or evaluate that aspect of his resume.
I'm from Brazil. I've seen Romario playing, Ronaldinho, and those players, they were difficult to manage. So that's the kind of player we want to have. Those that make the magic on the field, and if they bring that personality, that because he's a fighter, he's very competitive, and he wants to win. So if that's the kind of problem, that we want to have this kind of problem here. So it's not a concern at all for us to have someone like Lucho and the personality he will bring to the locker room.
Eric, did you want to address that?
No, I mean, I completely agree. He's a competitor. So guys who are the ultimate competitors, they set a high bar, and they bring everybody with them. And that's the demand he has, and that's why he's coming. Is we understand that bar, and we want it to be here, and it's going to be, and so we're more than prepared. He's got amazing character, by the way. So this guy is a great human being with a high standard of himself and those around him, and that's who he is. And we want that. We respect that.
Thanks, Charlie. We'll go ahead to Drew. Go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, this is Drew Epperly, Big D Soccer. This one's for Coach. The last two seasons have been pretty difficult for the team in terms of injuries. Going into this year, how's the team looking on that front? Is there any concerns of any players so far in preseason? And what are you guys doing to mitigate injuries going forward into the season?
Well, our sports performance department's been excellent. I mean, we've had a goal going into this preseason to push with the style of play that we want to play. Preseason is really important for these guys to start to build their armor. And so far it's been great. Yeah, there's a few guys nicked up. Nothing for real, long-term concern. But this preseason's been really good as far as building these players. And I think if you ask any of them, most of them are saying it's probably been the best preseason they've ever been a part of as far as how they feel at this point. It's been hard on them, but great for them. So in order to thrive in this style of play, this preseason is your best indicator of if you can get through this, you're going to like where you feel come game one. And they're showing those signs right now for sure.
Thanks, Drew. And we'll wrap with Dan.
Thank you. Dan Crook, Third Degree. Question for each of you. Firstly, Andre, how's your blood pressure after a pretty crazy off-season so far? What I wanted to get to is you've obviously brought in a couple of key pieces there. Is the market still open for any further additions ahead of the opener with Houston?
So blood pressure, I still haven't finished. So I'll just measure once all the signings are done. If it's been a long off season, I can tell you, with the players leaving and coming. But I feel very happy where we are right now. And what's the second part? Sorry.
I just wondered if the market's still open for any additions, particularly looking, maybe around backup left back, centre midfield before the opener with Houston.
We are. I'm not going to mention what position, but we are in the market. We will still. We have another player that is signed. We should announce sometime soon, and we have other targets that we're working on to I'll hopefully get them signed as soon as possible and have them here. We have a long window. Obviously, we want them as soon as possible. But as I mentioned before, we want the right players, and so we're being very careful what the players we sign, because we're building this roster to last for a few years at least in Dallas, and so we want to build a championship roster. So we've got to make sure we bring the right players in, and that's what myself, the scouting department, Sandro, Eric have been working really hard to find those players.
Thank you. And Eric, obviously you've talked a lot about building that armor with the players and mentality. When we spoke a few weeks ago, the roster looked very different to what it does now. You obviously had camp without some significant pieces that have been added. How is kind of getting the continuity in the squad and getting everyone up to speed and gelled in with each other?
It's been great. I mean, I think week to week we've grown in our connection to each other. They are meeting the expectations of what we want to see out of mentality. They're training exceptionally hard. The group is like you said, it is becoming what we want it to be, with more additions coming. But there's a purpose. There's a purpose in everything we're doing, and there's a mindset, and it all revolves around winning. And so bringing winners, guys who are like-minded, and guys who understand what all goes into winning. And that's the vetting process in these player acquisitions. It's not just their talent; it's their talent plus their character that is the true. What gets them over the finish line for me and André is making sure their character and mentality matches their talent.
Thank you.
Thanks to all of you who joined us via Zoom. Thanks to everyone in the room. Thank you, André. Thank you, Eric. Really appreciate the time today. FC Dallas season opens next Saturday against Houston in Houston. Home opener March 8th here at Toyota Stadium against the Chicago Fire. You guys, thank you very much. You guys are done. If anybody wants to talk to Dan, he'll be available up here in just a few minutes.